Hi everyone, this is Gracie. Welcome back to my channel Graceful Mess. Today I wanted to talk about the habit of overthinking and facing problems with decision making. First and foremost, we must understand that people don't overthink about everything. You may overthink about your mortgage payments, but you may not have any issue selecting a dress for the evening, while someone else spends too much time thinking about what to wear, but when it comes to investing their funds, they are able to make that decision very assertively. Of course, here I am not talking about acting without thinking. You must first identify the patterns of your overthinking. What exactly do you overthink about? Do you overthink about your romantic situation? Are you constantly worrying that your partner will leave you? Are you constantly trying to read the hidden meanings behind their every word or move? Do you overthink your work situation? Anytime you have to give a presentation, do you find yourself thinking about 101 ways you can fail? Are you unable to choose what to wear and keep thinking how people will make fun of you when you show up at a party? When you're attending a family function, do you overthink about what your relatives will say to you? Or they might comment on your weight gain, or not being married yet, or not being settled in your career? Instead of looking forward to it with excitement, do you dread going out with your friends or relatives? Whatever it is that you overthink about is a situation that gave you pain in the past. In order to identify that pain, you need to analyze what exactly are the worst case scenarios that you overthink about. Let me give you some examples. If, when giving a presentation, you worry about making a fool of yourself, then your pain is feeling incompetent in front of others. It may have happened to you in school or college, or you may have even watched someone else fail miserably, and in that moment, you may have empathized with that person so much so that your mind identified it as its own pain. And now your mind keeps conjuring up 101 ways you can fail, where you'll feel the same pain again. If you worry too much about your looks, especially when you have a get together to attend, then in the past, people have made you feel conscious about your looks in front of a large gathering, and your ego is trying to run from those situations, so your mind keeps thinking about scenarios where it may happen again. If you worry too much about your finances, then feeling poor is your pain. In the past, you may have faced situations where finances were really bad, and you may have had to cut down on many things and compromise on many desires due to lack of money, and you don't want to find yourself in that situation again. Or you may have had to depend on someone else for money, and that person made you feel really bad, and you don't want to be dependent on others anytime ever again in your future. If you overthink about going on a date and you keep thinking of ways that you can get rejected, then rejection from opposite gender is your pain that you are trying to avoid. Your mind keeps thinking of ways that you can impress the other person, that you even forget that you have as much a right to reject the other person as them. You forget that you also have certain likes and dislikes when it comes to romantic partner, and that you also have the right to judge the other person to your parameters. You only think of impressing the other person instead of caring about your own opinions. So now I want you to take this as an exercise. Sit down, take a piece of paper, and write down patterns of your overthinking. What are the worst case scenarios that your mind thinks of? Go down the memory lane and recollect when was the last time you were in a similar situation? What kind of pain are you running from? What exactly is it that you're scared of? Now, against each worst case scenarios, write down what exactly is so bad and life threatening about it. So, what you gave a bad presentation? Will it end your career? Worse comes worse, it can ruin your appraisal rating for that year. And trust me, that's the worst possible scenario, which is also very rare. Your managers are human beings, which means that they have had their fair share of bad presentations, and they are still in corporate life. No bad presentation ever ruined a career. Only bad attitudes lose career. If you're willing to take feedback, work on your shortcomings, it will even earn you brownie points from good leaders. If someone makes fun of you at a party, is that the end of life? Siblings, friends, colleagues, they all pull each other's leg. Then what is it that you're scared of? Pulling each other's leg is the most normal thing of a close relationship. Do you feel uncomfortable around certain people because they always pick up on you? Stop hanging out with them. What sin have you committed to be sentenced to their company? You don't have to be nice to someone who makes you feel so bad. And if at all meeting them is a compulsion, either because they're colleagues or family, then cut down the time you spend with them, keeping it to bare minimum. Don't share anything about your personal life with them. If they don't know anything, what will they make fun of? And always meet such people in presence of someone who can take your side in front of them. You don't have to put up with them alone. And last but not the least, even if worst case scenario does come true, they do make fun of you and you feel embarrassed, just know that your life will continue irrespective of what anyone thinks about you. And also understand, people don't just judge you by what others say about you, they also judge you by what you say about others. So while they're making fun of you, people will also be judging them as bad bullies. If your finances are giving you trouble, then make a plan to control your monthly expenses, increase your savings, and cut down risky investments. There are so many YouTube tutorials on how to save like crazy. What are the good safe investment options? This way, when you look into your monthly income and savings and expenses, you'll feel more in control and there will be less need to worry. If you feel insecure about your partner, then it's time to have a heart to heart conversation with them. Tell them what makes you feel insecure. You guys can plan to spend more time together, indulge in more couple activities together, so that that will build the trust and transparency in your relationship and reduce your insecurity. This way, you'll be able to analyze all your overthinking patterns and you'll be able to do two things. One, get comfortable with whatever worst case scenario is to your mind. And second, make arrangements to ensure that whatever worst case scenario is, it never happens. You will feel more in control, and this will give your mind some peace that whatever happens, you'll be fine. It will stop overthinking. You must understand that your mind is a powerful survival tool. It analyzes each and every situation that has happened in the past and what emotions you felt during that moment. Then it carefully files it away, and whenever it sees a situation unfolding similar to the one where in the past you had some strong negative emotions, then it starts thinking of all the ways things can go bad in current situation to arrive at a fight or flight response. Through analyzing your overthinking patterns, you must revisit that past situation that had given you pain, and you must tell yourself that you are stronger than your past self. You have grown up. You no longer need to be scared of the same thing happening because that thing is not so bad. And today you are smart enough to make arrangements to ensure that even if that worst case scenario does happen, you can limit the amount of damage. Of course, be kind and gentle with yourself in this process. This takes time and is not quick. As I always say, feel the pain and release it. Set yourself free from the clutches of your ego.